News tonight. Lagos APC World Congress records death of one person in Agege. In business, NERC directs power firms to fix faulty installations to avert disaster. And on the foreign scene, Malaysia, former Prime Minister resigns from office. Hello there, many thanks for joining us on Superscreen's flagship news, broadcasting to you live from Lagos. I am Adenike Owoye Ajiboye. A member of the All Progressives Congress APC in Lagos State has been shot dead at the party's local government congress in Agege. The member, identified as Nuruddin Olanoshe, was allegedly shot during a fracas that ensued after voting had ended. Reports also said 2 others are in critical condition, while 9 people have been arrested and taken to Area G Police Division in Agege. A teenager identified as Kufo has been killed by a stray bullet when some hoodlums clashed with personnel of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps NSDC in Idioro area of Ibadan during its local government election in Oyo State. Report says the hoodlums were fomenting trouble in the area when officers of the NSCDC in the state were called in to quell the violence. Residents alleged that the girl who went to a pharmaceutical store to buy some drugs was killed by a stray bullet belonging to the NSCDC in the ensuing clash. Spokesman for the NSDC in the state, Olusegun Oluwole, who confirmed this, maintained that many of the command were not responsible for the killing of the teenager. In our report says some hoodlums were arrested at the venue of Ekiti APC primary run for attempting to force themselves into the venue and aggressively confronting a policeman who manned the gate all the early hours of today. One of the suspected hoodlums who accused the policeman of being biased after he was denied access into the venue had on him charm wrapped in a red piece of cloth. The men claimed to be delegates from various wards but did not possess any of the documents required to ease their entry to the main venue from the gates. Some youths in Imo State have protested over the alleged misconduct that occurred during the World Congress of the All Progressives Congress APC in the state. The youths took to the streets on alleging that some Congress materials had gone missing during the exercise today. They have therefore called on the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to fix a new date for the World Congress and also ensure that the candidates are brought to book. Still staying with the APC Local Government Congress, 2 factions of executives have emerged from the All Progressives Congress APC Local Government Congress held across the 21 local government areas of Kogi State. Report says party members supporting Governor Yahaya Bello converged at the Lafia Arcadia venue of the Congress, while the Ameto-led faction held theirs in Adankolo. Usman Maman Lafia emerged chairman, while Abubakar Nagago Mayaki emerged the factional secretary in a 27-man executive. The Congress was supervised by officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has praised the Kaduna State Independent National Electoral Commission for the conduct of today's local government elections in the state. The governor, who disclosed this after voting at the Ungwar Sariki polling unit in Kaduna North local government area, said Reports reaching home from across the state showed that the polls went on smoothly. Although the governor acknowledged that elections have been cancelled in Kwara and Daba local government areas due to security concerns, he said it did not change the fact that elections were mostly peaceful, as the overwhelming percentage of the state was peaceful. The call for one-year schooling for graduates of universities by the Minister of State for Education, Professor Anthony Awuka, has been generating reactions. A cross-section of Nigerians who spoke to Superscreens expressed divergent opinions. The report. The proposal for university graduates to undergo a one-year schooling has been greeted with mixed reactions. The Minister of State for Education, Professor Anthony Awuka, had presented the proposal at the retreat for governing councils of Nigerian federal universities. Defending his call, the minister said university graduates are not good enough to be employed by industries, saying the time is ripe to train students to meet the required standards of industries. Filling the polls of students on this call, they express divergent views. While some say it is a welcome development, others frowned at it. For parents and guardians, the idea of reschooling is uncalled for. For others, it is another waste of time.
Like that, there are some courses that are very technical, okay? Courses like electrical engineering, geophysics. Now, graduates from those courses, it's true that some of them are not actually relevant, they are not actually ready to go out to the industry, but that doesn't mean you cannot generalize it. So in my opinion, I don't think that is generalized. You can't just make that 1 year mandatory for all, because there are like percentages of students that are actually ready for the industry. So I disagree with that. I don't think that's necessary.
After going through 4 or 5 years in school, you now ask them to go do another extra year. That's very unreasonable, considering the fact that to go to school is not, bacon of roses and all that, so it's not easy. So I don't think it's a good idea. They should think of other things and other ways, but not for them to go back to school for a whole year.
What the Minister of State or the Minister of Education could be saying will be dependent on students that may not have such opportunities. As we speak, my daughter can handle the job of a geologist to an extent, just as she's coming out of school. I'm amazed that there are some things she got to understand, to go through as a CWE student in Schlumberger, which I'm yet to fully understand. The softwares that are being used worldwide, she can use them right now. So I will be surprised if such a student from such a wonderful university like UNILAG, well groomed by qualified lecturers, that should be out there to start working and earning some money or going for postgraduate, will be thinking of reschooling.
It's uncalled for. For University of Lagos, we are actually doing our best to make sure that our students meet up to standard. You understand? But I don't want to make a comment about his decision or what they are actually looking at or proposing.
They were, however, quick to suggest the best approach to helping students meet the demands of the labor markets.
They should focus on improving the education for people while they are in undergraduate level, instead of mandating this one. So if you do a good job educating people within 5 years, 4 years, they will get enough. You don't need to add an extra 1 year to them.
University should be restructured such a way that while they are in school, they are being trained to appreciate what is outside and prepared for that, application of knowledge. I remember when I was in school, since year 1 I was in school, I made up my mind I was not going to work for anybody. And so each time I'm getting a call, a lecturer is teaching me, I begin to see the application and the implication of that course. The effect, what can I do? What can I make of that course after I graduate? And what I did was that I just applied myself to courses that are relevant to what I will do outside. And that is where I spend a lot of energy.
They have to put resources in the universities I went to school in America, so I know that, you know, you have to do things, you know, do things well. But the government had to strengthen the resources in the universities so that, you know, graduates can meet the standards, you know, and be employed. It's not just going to school. After school, then they are there loafing around doing nothing. Considering the way the economy is, the country is in a chaos. The economy is in a chaos. A lot of people are not making money. So how do you expect them to pay 1 year extra to go back to school? That's unreasonable as far as I'm concerned.
The children should be well groomed so that on leaving school, even without a job, my daughter can go into consultancy now and be able to create an impact because of the training she has received in 5 years of her career in this university.
Worthy of note is that the minister, in his submission, while defending his proposal, pointed out that if law students attend law school for 1 year before going for the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC), with the medical students doing the same in their 1 year housemanship before practicing professionally, then it feels it is necessary for other discipline to follow suit. It remains to be seen if this proposal will see the light of the day. Only time will tell. A Makati-based legal practitioner, Matthew Uyutsa, has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to declare herdsmen in Benue State as a terrorist group. Uyutsa filed an ex parte motion seeking to compel the Attorney General of the Federation (AGF) and the President to move a court of competent jurisdiction and declare herdsmen operating in Benue State under the name of Mayeti Allah Kautal Corps as a terrorist organization. In addition, the plaintiff is seeking the prohibition of all activities of herdsmen in Benue State that have resulted in the deliberate and intentional killings of innocent farmers. Now, pupils of Stella Maris Private School have visited Superscreen television on an excursion. The students who came in the company of the teachers were exposed to the operations of a media house where they were taught the basic communication skills and given a first-hand experience in the process.
These are pupils of Stella Maris Nursery and Primary School. They have come to Superscreen television to get a first-hand exposure to the media house. The pupils, who were received by the head of programs, Annie Ananaba, were taken round to all departments. In the news department, the head of news, Adenike Owoye Ajiboye, taught them the basic communication skills and what it takes to produce a news bulletin.
Hello, children. Hello, Auntie. All right, it's really beautiful to have you guys here. Of course, this is Superscreen television. I hope you're aware that this is Superscreen television. Yes, ma'am. All right, beautiful. Okay, this is the newsroom, and I want to say welcome to Superscreen's newsroom. What do you say?
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, you are interested in knowing what we do in a broadcast station. Superscreen as a broadcast station, we do what they do basically in other television stations also. So right here in the newsroom, we do what is called a news gathering, production of news. You gather your news from one point to the other, after which, when it moves from the table of the producer, the news producer, it goes straight to the table of the non-linear editor. And from the desk of the non-linear editor, or rather from the producer's table, the desk editor comes there, do the editing, and after the editing, they pass it down to the non-linear editor's desk.
Misconduct in journalism, how do you treat it?
You have what we call the code of ethics, all right? So that is what is supposed to guide an average or practitioners, basically. You should be aware and be conversant with the rules. So once you know the rules, you are expected to do in accordance to it. So when you now do anything contrary, that's why we have the embassy. They are there to regulate. Do you understand? And where we err, we always pay fines. There are fines to be paid. And apart from fines, they sanction us. You know, there are some presenters that will tell you that in the next 6 months or thereabout, you are not to come on air. And that's why even most broadcast stations also, they send practitioners for trainings. Even NBC itself has a body organized trainings. And in these trainings, they also bring to the fore some of the areas and the code of conduct for us to get conversant with it.
The pupils were also taken through the technical aspect of production.
The down part of it, I just copy it. So I'm going to paste it there. You will see the way I'm doing it. It's not magic. Like Ctrl V is what you use to paste. So you paste it. Canon declares May 11 copy. Do you understand? That's the first one I copied. Because this one, you don't no longer need this one, so I'm throwing this one away too. I'm going to get the top. The commemoration of late Isiaku. So I'm going to paste it too. It's there already. So because it's too big, so this is what's called it already. So I can work it the way I want to work it, but in a way that will conform with our laid down rules. You understand? In this world too, you have rules to follow. Any organization without rules will never grow. You know all these things. If school did not tell you come in 7 o'clock or 7:30, you choose to come in 9 o'clock. If everybody choose to come in 9 o'clock, then it's no longer. You understand? So there must be a rule or rules that will guide the organization.
Giving me software, it has a lot of functions, whereby you can even use it for same live programs, same as that TriCaster. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
But the TriCaster is more efficient and more reliable. So I decided to split the broadcast equipment to enable me work a free workflow. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
In the sense that if I am doing recording, I will still be broadcasting. If I am trying to record a recorded program inside the studio, I will be doing the recording while I will be doing my play out without any interference.
It was a beautiful experience for the pupils as they witnessed the live news broadcast of Superscreen.
Of the chamber, saying he owes them no apology. Idris says it does not have to appear before the lawmakers, noted that a senior police officer of the rank of Deputy Inspector General or an assistant.
That the tall pole outside is not called pole, it's called the max. On the top of the max, there's an antenna that will transmit transmits the TV show to your TV.
Learn that the full meaning of NBC, National Broadcasting Commission.
NBC is National Broadcasting Commission, and MRC, Master Control Room. And I want to say a big thank you to our head for bringing us to this beautiful excursion.
Majorities of the pupils, they are members of a press club in our school. So we have been looking forward to visiting a television station, and we have chosen a Superscreen at the broadcasting as one of the broadcasting stations to visit. And we thank God that today now the opportunity has finally come.
To expose the children to the world of journalism and broadcasting generally, and so far so good. I believe that from what we have seen and what the members of staff have actually shown us and told us and explained to us, I believe the children have really learned a lot, and even with the teachers that came with them.
Exposure like this is a unique opportunity that will provide pupils of this level with a better understanding to making a good career choice.
And all in health matters, the Nigeria Medical Association NMA Kogi State Chapter has urged health workers in the state to tread with caution in joining the strike by the National Joint Health Sector Union, JOHESL. Chairman of the chapter, Tijani Godwin, The statement said its members were not on strike, while stressing that his members are available for consultations in all the health facilities across the state. Tijani also said that drugs and laboratory investigation, among others, could be outsourced in the interim. According to Tijani, the state government has been very supportive of the health workforce in the state in terms of their rightful remuneration. National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has lifted the shutdown order on 3 companies who were closed. The pharmaceutical firms were closed as the agency investigated the alleged unethical distribution of codeine cough syrups. The companies include the Emzor Pharmaceuticals Industry Limited, Lagos, P Standard Pharmaceutical Limited, and Buraj Pharmaceutical Limited in Ilorin, Kwara State. According to a statement from the agency, the Director General of NAFDAC, Mojisola Adeyeye, gave the directive following meetings between the companies and the agency's Directorate of Investigation and Enforcement, Drug Evaluation Research, and Narcotics and Controlled Substances. According to NAFDAC, the production of codeine syrup is to be stopped immediately until further notice or while investigation continues. You're still watching Superscreen's flagship news. Coming up in business, NERC directs power firms to fix faulty installations to avert disaster. Join us for details of this and more after this timeout. Well, it's so glad to have you back. Now in business world, the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has directed power firms operating across the country to fix all faulty installations in their various states of operations in order to avert disaster as the rainy season sets in. NERC said it would not accept claims of natural disaster from power firms, adding that appropriate sanctions would be applied if any electricity company failed to heed the directive. Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun says 14 persons who gave useful tips that led to the recovery of several billions of naira and some millions from some corporate tax evaders have been paid about 439.3 million naira this week. Adeosun said the companies were busted after years of either evading taxes or underpaying government following tips by the whistleblowers in line with the whistleblower policy of the federal government. The minister also said apart from the changing narrative on tax by government in recent times, the extension of the deadline for the Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme (VATE) to June 30, 2018 has seen far more tips received from whistleblowers on tax evasion.
We pay the whistleblowers in batches, and so this month's batch I wanted to speak a little bit about, because for the first time we're paying 439,276,099 naira and 86 kobo to about 14 people who gave us specific tips on tax evasion. And so we were able, because of the specific information they gave us about companies, or companies in this case, who had either deliberately, or in most cases deliberately, as a policy, underpaid their taxes, we were able with that specific information to go in to those companies, communicate with them, and we've been able to recover the sum of 13.8 billion as a result of those specific tips. So we will close this year's budget with capital expenses in excess of 1.5 trillion, which is higher than last year. I think I saw provisional figures last week of 1.467, and there was some postings still to come in. So I'm quite confident we'll close the year at about 1.5 trillion of capex. Many of these projects, as you know, are multi-year projects. So hopefully there won't be too much disruption. Of course there will be some, and it will be insincere of me to say that the delay in the budget passing has no impact. Of course it does, because markets change, the cost of money in the market changes, and so there will be an impact. But we're going to try and mitigate that impact as much as possible and focus on completing projects. But many of those projects, like the rail projects, they're multi-year projects, so we'll just continue working. We didn't close down our system. Normally the system closes down on 31st of December and then they can't spend anymore.
Well, Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, speaking there on the amount spent by the federal government on whistleblowers. You're still watching Superscreen's flagship news, now still ahead on the news. Malaysia former Prime Minister resigns from office. Details of these and more coming up shortly. Glad to have you back. Now in international news. Malaysian former Prime Minister Najib Razak has resigned as president of his UMNO party and as chairman of the Barisan National Coalition shortly after he was issued a travel ban. The resignation came after Najib was barred from leaving the country on amid reports that the government was reopening investigations into a multi-billion-dollar corruption scandal at a state fund he founded. Najib said his deputy Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, who is also the former deputy prime minister, will take over